Hi, here we are, Route 66, day number 322. We've got two chapters in the book of Acts that we want to read today as we continue looking at, beginning with the Apostle Paul's ministry. This is his first missionary journey. He takes off to evangelize, to start churches, and he goes from place to place. Chapter 13, the Holy Spirit calls Paul and Barnabas from the church at Antioch, and they preach across Cyprus, where Paul confronts a sorcerer named Elymas, and people delved into satanic things back then as well as they do now. And then he went to an area that was called Pisidian Antioch, not the same Antioch. Preached a powerful sermon showing that Jesus is the fulfillment of God's promises. Some people believed and became Christians. Others, not so much, and they stirred up some persecution against them. And then in chapter 14, Paul and Barnabas take off, and they go to a town called Iconium, and then to Lystra, and then to Derbe. They preached. Miracles were performed, including healing a crippled man. The crowds at Lystra mistook him for one of the gods, and it started turning violent. Paul ends up getting stoned, left for dead, and yet rises. Some people actually believe that he died and came back. Whether he did or not, that's left up to it. The Bible's not very clear, but in spite of the persecution, he continued preaching. They appointed leaders in the church, elders, to strengthen these new churches. And so that's what ended up happening in these two chapters. Some lessons that are good to as you read this. It's not just a journey through as Paul preaches, but there's some lessons that we can learn here too. Number one, the Holy Spirit calls people to minister, calls people to mission. The church has to listen. The individual person must listen and obey what God says. And that's where I think there's a coming together. God calls a person. A church recognizes that call and commissions him to go. Missionaries do that. Pastors do that. But the Holy Spirit is the one that directs people in the ministry that they have. He'll direct you in the ministry that he wants you to do. Second lesson, the gospel brings both opposition and opportunity, good and bad. When you share the message of Jesus, I heard somebody say, you better pucker up or duck. Somebody's either going to want to love you or somebody's going to want to hit you. Success and suffering often run side by side. It's not going to be all good, and fortunately, it's not going to be all bad. But the gospel causes people to make decisions, and so you just realize that. And a third lesson, God does use trials to strengthen believers. Paul went through some pretty tough persecution, and his perseverance and hardship didn't stop him from doing God's work. In fact, it strengthened him in his work for God, and it will do the same for you. Allow the trials and troubles of life cause you to have stronger faith. God bless you as you read these two chapters